Hi, today's lesson is on how to solve integer addition, and we're going to look at this using some models. So we'll start first with integers with a number line. So if you see this equation says 3 plus negative 6. Whenever we're going to add, we're always going to start from 0. So we start from 0, and since 3 is positive, we're going to move to the right. So positive 3, and then negative 6 goes to the left. So first we go forward 3, and then we go back 6, and we land on negative 3. So 3 plus negative 6 is negative 3. Here's another example. Negative 3, we're going to start from 0. We're going to go back 3 for negative 3, and this is plus negative 2, which is also going to be back 2. So negative 3 plus negative 2 is negative 5. We can also look at a number line that goes vertically. This might be more helpful in understanding the value of the numbers. So when we see negative 9, we're going to go down 9, and when we see negative 1, so here's down 9, negative 9, and down 1. So if we go down 9 and down 1, we end up at negative 10. Here's a negative 4 plus 9. We start at 0, and we're going to go down 4 and up 9. And when we go down 4 and then up 9, we cross 0 when we go to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're at 9. We land on number 5. Next we can look at 3 plus negative 7. Up 3 from 0, and then down 7 for negative 7. And we land on negative 4. Another way we can show addition of integers is to use algebra tiles, which are really just tiles that are represented as positive and negative. So if we have 2 plus 7, that's the same thing as saying 2 positives plus 7 positives, and that equals 9 positives. 3 positives plus 4 positives is 7 positives. Okay, so we've been doing integer addition since kindergarten, but if we think about it, now we're going to be using negative numbers. So if we have 3 negatives and 5 negatives, that gives us a total of 8 negatives. Negative 3 plus negative 5 equals negative 8. If we have 1 negative and 2 negatives, negative 1 plus negative 2 equals negative 3, because we have 3 negatives all together. So if we are going to be doing addition with integers that have the same sign, we're going to add and keep the sign. So we add the absolute values and keep the sign. If we have different signs, like in this example, 2 plus negative 7, we have 2 positives and 7 negatives. Notice that a plus and a minus cancel out to become zeros. So we have 2 zero pairs here that get canceled out, and when we cancel out the 0 pairs, we're left with negative 5. So what we do here is we subtract the 0 pairs, and we give the sign of the one that there's more of. So since 7 minus 2 is 5, we're left with 5, but we know it's going to be negative because there's 7 negatives and only 2 positives. So negative 3 plus 4, we're going to have 3 negatives and 4 positives. This time we can cancel out 3 0 pairs, and so we subtract the 0 pairs, and we're left with 1 positive. We're going to have 5 positives and 8 negatives, so this time we're going to cancel out 5 0 pairs, and it leaves us with 3 negatives. For this equation, we have 4 positives and 2 negatives, so we cancel out the 0 pairs, and we're left with 2 positives. So we subtract the 0 pairs and then give the sign of the one that's left over, or the one that there's more of. When we look at colored tiles, the yellow tiles will represent positive numbers and the red tiles represent negative numbers, so these can cancel each other out. We have an equation here that says 3 positives plus 5 negatives. So if we cancel out the 0 pairs or cancel out the opposites, we're left with 2 negatives. In this equation, we see 1 negative and 4 positives. so -1 plus 4. We can cancel out the 0 pair and we're left with 3 positives. In this example, we see 2 negatives plus 5 negatives. That gives us a total of 7 negatives. In this example, we have 6 negatives and 3 negatives. So 6 negatives plus 3 negatives is 9 negatives. The red tiles are negative and the yellow tiles are positive. If you noticed with those examples, when they have the same signs, we add and keep. And when they have different signs, we're subtracting the 0 pairs and giving the sign of the one that there's more of. This goes to the tune of row, row, row your boat. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Give the sign of the one that there's more of, you will be exact. Integer addition with 3 or more numbers. If you see 3, make a T. If you see 3 numbers, make a T and put the plus sign on the left and the minus sign on the right. Here's an example. -4 plus -5 plus -8. We're going to put the -4 on the side with the negative, -5, and -8. Notice they all have the same sign, so we combine them and we're left with -17. In this example, we're going to put a 9 on the positive side, a -3 on the negative side, and a 5 on the positive side. When we do that, now we're going to add the positives and we get 14. Bring down the negative, -3, and the answer is 11. In this example, we're going to put -8 on the negative side, +6 on the positive side, and -3 on the negative side. So we get 6 and -11. These are different signs, so we subtract and give the sign of the bigger number. 11 minus 6 is 5, and since 11 is a greater absolute value, we're going to make it negative. 2 plus 7 plus -9. Put 2 in the positives, 7 in the positives, and -9. Add the positives and we get 9. Bring down the -9, and 9 minus 9 equals 0. And that is all for the examples for how we can use models to solve integer addition problems.